An important step in analyzing potential overseas markets is to identify the aspects of culture that may have an impact on the international marketing of goods and services within the identified market. This is because one of the most significant factors that influence consumer behavior is culture. Culture can be defined as all the ways of life, including arts, beliefs, and institutions of a population that are passed down from generation to generation. Culture has been called the way of life for an entire society. As such, it includes codes of manners, dress, language, religion, rituals, art. From a business perspective, it's important for us to recognize that there are various cultures and subcultures that coexist in domestic and overseas markets as it impacts on the ways in which we interact with others and with the world around us, including the purchase and use of goods and services. The influence of cultural factors on business is extensive. Culture impacts how employees are best managed based on their values and priorities. It also impacts the functional areas of marketing, sales, and distribution. It can affect a company's analysis and decision on how best to enter a new market. For example, a potential customer in India, aged between 20 and the 30th of may be influenced by the prevailing culture in some respects, but may also be influenced by Western culture, for example, in music and clothes. It's also important to note that each major city or region may have their own subculture which influences the consumers in that particular geographical market, and more general strategies may not be as effective. Culture influences what feels right, normal, and desirable. Businesses that ask consumers to swim against the social current are making it harder for the consumer to choose their services. It's usually better practice to make it possible and easy for consumers to choose your product within their cultural comfort zone. From an international marketing perspective, we need to be aware of the culture of the country or region that the organization is targeting and recognize how this culture will potentially influence marketing activities for that geographical market. We will need to analyze consumer cultural information to determine factors such as attitudes of overseas countries towards our country and products from our country, the degree of fiscal conservatism or liberalism within culture, family structures, consumer purchasing habits, decision makers in families, impact of religion in decision-making process, and how the consumers in the market are impacted by their values and beliefs. As international marketing is closely correlated to the cultures in which a business wishes to sell its product, culture itself must be analyzed to understand the best way to integrate into both existing and emerging foreign markets. Most countries participate in research done through various universities and business bodies on social attitudes. This information is then collated into worldwide data that can be helpful to review when looking to expand into an international market. From a business operations perspective, understanding the culture of a foreign region or nation is essential, as our insights influence how multinational and cross-cultural teams interact and collaborate. It dictates the business world's values, etiquettes, thinking patterns, decision-making, practices, and processes. Often getting this aspect right is the difference between success and failure in an international market.